Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
From the Channel 11 tower cam, you can see we are finally getting a break from the snow, but not from the bitter cold temperatures. This weekend will drop into the single digits, and that's without the wind chill. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh.
I'm Jennifer Tmazik. So how cold are we talking this weekend, Jessica?
We are talking pretty cold, especially Saturday night into Sunday morning. We're going to talk more about temperatures in just a bit, but we've seen at least 16 straight days of at least even just a trace of some snow in the area. This weekend, we're looking to get a break, and Sunday is actually looking pretty good. Even though I mentioned that Sunday morning will be in the single digits, temperatures will be much better during Sunday afternoon than Saturday afternoon. And I do have much more good information on the way as far as temperatures in the extended forecast, because hey, we do need a break from this bitter cold, especially as we head into the month of March. I'm going to talk more about this weekend and also when we can expect wintry precipitation coming once again. So all of those details coming up in just a few minutes.
Jessica, a gruesome crime scene in Stowe Township. Police say this man shot and killed his brother and his brother's girlfriend. The bodies were found yesterday, 5 days after the shooting. And today, Channel 11's Mike Holden sifted through the police paperwork and has the latest on what police believe was the motive behind the killings.
Police have now cleared out of this area and a makeshift memorial is in place. Neighbors tell us this is truly devastating and they're still trying to wrap their heads around this. This afternoon, a suspect is now in custody and sitting in the Allegheny County Jail. Police say Timothy Gumm admitted to shooting and killing his brother and brother's girlfriend. He's charged with homicide and tampering with evidence. County police were called to the Liberty Street home in Stowe Township for a welfare check yesterday. They found the front door cracked open and discovered 47-year-old Sally Sines and her 55-year-old boyfriend Christopher Gumm shot to death. Not long after, police arrested the victim's brother, Timothy Gumm. Police paperwork states they were able to tie Gumm to the murders through evidence in his own admission. A witness informed police that Timothy was upset with his brother and brother's girlfriend for living in his parents' place. Gumm initially denied ever being at his parents' home. Timothy then told police he got into an argument with his brother. He says he thought his brother had a knife, so he pulled out a gun and shot both Christopher and Sally. Neighbors say they're devastated.
I've known Chris since he was about 10 years old. He went to school with my kids. It's really, really hard. Really hard.
And Gumm remains locked up in the Allegheny County Jail, not able to post bond. In the meantime, we're now talking with additional neighbors about their message to the family, plus how investigators say a beer can and a grocery bag played a key role in this investigation and helped tie them to the suspect. That part of the story for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Stowe Township, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Another tough story here this afternoon. Police say that a woman was beaten and stabbed to death in Lawrence County. And then they say that her attacker was shot and killed by police. Here's how it unfolded. A New Wilmington police officer says that he saw the man attacking the woman kind of near Westminster College. You can see it there on the map. So the officers yelled for him, they say, to drop his weapon. And according to police paperwork, when he didn't, an officer shot him. The man died at the scene. The woman died a short time later at the hospital. 12:02, just take a look at this incredible video. Everyone is okay, but this fire in Reserve Township was relentless. Firefighters cut holes through the roof there. You see them with that long pole trying to ventilate it. They also knocked some windows from the inside to keep it from spreading to the houses next door. This is on Clementina Drive. Now, the fire chief tells me that the family that lives there didn't stay there last night because there was an issue with the furnace. And when the man returned at midnight for what he thought was a carbon monoxide issue, he found that fire.
In the past hour, we got an update from the Allegheny County Health Department. Health officials say they've learned of 18 additional COVID-19 related deaths. 16 of the victims died this month. The health department is also reporting 257 new COVID cases. The winter weather that hit most of the country this week has been slowing down vaccinations in Pennsylvania. Health officials say this week's shipments of Moderna and Pfizer vaccines have been delayed. The Moderna vaccine was not shipped from the distributor on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and the Pfizer vaccine was not shipped on Monday, with limited doses going out on Tuesday and Wednesday.
The CDC is working with shipping partners and distributors to resume shipments as quickly and safely as possible. However, there will be a significant backlog of orders for distribution as a result of the adverse weather.
The state says shipments could also be delayed from reaching vaccine providers, but it's still too early to know which ones are affected.
As COVID-19 quickly mutates and spreads around the world, health officials say getting a vaccine is so important right now. NBC's Richard Engel has more on the 3 most concerning variants found in the U.S.
There are about 4,000 known mutations, but 3 of serious concern, and unfortunately all 3 of those are in the United States. The Brazil variant, the South African variant, and the UK variant. And the UK variant in particular is a major problem, major concern, because it spreads very, very quickly. And the mutations in these 3 particular variants of concern that are all in the United States happened to the spikes. The spikes are those very characteristic formations on the outer skin of the virus that the virus uses to bind to us, to penetrate our cells. And over time, through the process of evolution, those spikes got better at doing their job.
When we say we're concerned that it will be dominant by the time we get to March, well, we're talking about that because of its advantage that it has over the other strains, namely the replicative advantage that it replicates more efficiently and effectively, that over a period of time, by the pure kinetics of replication and the dynamics of the outbreak, after a couple of months, it will gradually take over the turf, as it were.
Fortunately, the vaccines that are currently available do still work against these viral mutations. They don't work exactly as well. Several of these mutations are proving to be resistant to the vaccines, particularly the South African variant. But for now, the vaccines still do work, which is why Dr. Fauci and many public health experts say it is so important to get out the vaccines, get people vaccinated, drive down the numbers before this virus mutates even further. Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
Struggling businesses in Westmoreland County could get a piece of a $4 million grant. Businesses like bars, restaurants, and hotels. The county will distribute anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 per business. You do have to apply by March 15th.
The Allegheny County Health Department shut down 3 illegal nightclubs. They say none had valid health permits and all were ignoring COVID mitigation measures. The Alley in Carrick, 9 Cafe in Wilkinsburg, and the 703 Social Club in Marshall-Shadeland were all ordered to shut down. A husband and wife are facing charges. They're accused of stealing thousands of dollars from local churches while barely getting out of their car. Police say each job took them only about 30 seconds. These are the suspects. Police in Peters Township say they stole checks from church mailboxes. Investigators say their car matched the description of a vehicle involved in several other similar thefts, and you can see the churches that were targeted on this map. There are at least 4 of them. Police believe the couple stole nearly $10,000.
We are hoping to learn more about PennDOT's idea to put in a toll bridge in Allegheny County. There is a briefing today talking specifically about the plan in our area and what it would mean for the Bridgeville interchange on I-79. So yesterday, PennDOT announced that it is one of a handful of bridges they are looking to make toll bridges to make up for some lost revenue. Here's a look at the area where we're talking about from Chopper 11. Now, PennDOT says it'll cost nearly $150 million to rebuild the interchange, the roadway, and the bridges over Chartiers Creek and State Route 50. You'd pay between $1 and $2 to drive over it, and it would be by high-speed tolling.
We do think that, some people are going to think it's a good idea and endorse it. There are going to be other segments of the population that aren't going to endorse it. The beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
The project does still need federal approval, and there'll be some public meetings about it in the near future. A giant gift was just given to the Free Store in Braddock. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond shows us why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, new at noon.
It might seem like these shelves are just filled with a bunch of old books, but when you take a closer look, you'll see it's much more than that and serves a much greater purpose.
From parents saying, oh my God, this looks just like my daughter. I can't wait to read this tonight with her.
Giselle Barreto-Fetterman opened the Free Store 15104 in Braddock almost 10 years ago. If you're not familiar with it, it's a place people can come to get clothes, food, and even books. From the very beginning, Giselle bought books showcasing diversity for her own children. Then she donated them to this collection for other people to benefit. This collection expanded this week. FedEx held a multicultural book drive and then donated close to 150 children's books featuring diverse characters and authors to the free store.
We only know we belong in spaces if we can see ourselves in them. And if we have kids seeing themselves in spaces from the very beginning, I think that helps all of us. You know, it allows us to be able to dream bigger.
And today at 5, you'll hear from that amazing young girl who stopped by the free store today to share what this means to her and just how she felt being able to see herself in some of these books. And that story, her story, is coming up today at 5. Reporting in Braddock, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
Look forward to it. Against the odds, NASA's rover lander landed on Mars after a 7-month journey to the red planet.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars.
Ground controllers erupted in celebration yesterday when the Perseverance landed. It has already started sending back some crystal clear pictures. Next, the rover will collect rock samples and search for signs of ancient life. Soil will also be brought back to Earth in about 10 years. President Biden congratulated NASA on the landing. He watched the landing on television and called the Jet Propulsion Lab about an hour after touchdown. Later, the president tweeted a message that hailed the power of science.
Well, we're looking dry right now. So, will our weekend be trending dry as well? I have those details coming up next.
We have a warning for pet owners, why coyotes will be on the prowl over the next 6 weeks and why they could be more aggressive towards your dogs and cats.
Like to get together with our grandkids and our children.
Everyone is looking forward to the future. An infectious disease expert explains what you can do safely after getting the COVID-19 vaccines.
We've got vacation plans to go to Myrtle Beach, and we feel this is a kind of a safety net as well.
We are looking ahead in the race to vaccinate. What happens after you get your 2 shots? Channel 11's Michelle Chavez talked to an infectious disease doctor to find out what you can and what you cannot do once you're vaccinated.
So many people we've talked to are excited to walk through those doors, hoping that soon this means their lives can get back to normal.
Any function that they would participate in through school, we weren't able to attend. And that was we really missed that.
John Shop and his wife Diane say they miss sharing moments with their grandkids.
We just want to be able to get out and not have to worry about, catching COVID.
Well, yeah.
Because we have small grandkids and we want to be around them.
And Gary McGrath says he's hoping once the rest of his family gets that vaccine, his grandson will be able to spend more time with people.
He hasn't done much in his life yet as far as getting out because he was only born 4 or 5 months prior to this whole thing hitting.
These residents got their first COVID-19 vaccines this week. But just how much will they be able to do after their second dose? Dr. Amish Adalja says it doesn't fully kick in until 2 weeks after that second dose. So after that time passes, are you safe being in a bubble with other people who've been vaccinated?
You are going to be very heavily protected against having any symptomatic infection, and it is basically very close to nearly impossible for you to get severe disease or need hospitalization or die from COVID-19. So these vaccines are really path-breaking.
So he says you will be protected, but can you still be a carrier and end up giving the virus to someone else? Dr. Adalja says doctors are divided on that issue.
No, there's not a law against spending time with your family after your vaccination. So it's all about risk calculation. It likely is the case that they are somewhat protective. There may be a small chance or a modest chance that could happen.
What about wearing masks, social distancing, and washing hands?
So if I was doing a case investigation of a grocery store outbreak, I would focus more on the people who were not vaccinated than the ones who were vaccinated as the spreaders. However, you're not going to see guidance change on masks until we have much more data.
In other words, you'll have to keep following the CDC guidelines.
I just think in order for us all to hopefully get back to normal, we all need to do whatever we can to fight the virus.
And as Dr. Adalja says, the CDC guidelines are expected to change as more information comes out. We'll be keeping a close eye on that and keep you updated as those changes happen. In Castle Shannon, Michelle Chavez, Channel 11 News.
Tonight at 8, you can join Channel 11 for a WPXI Now special about the race to vaccinate in southwestern PA. You can watch it live on our WPXI News app for your streaming device.
A local veteran and his puppy are being called heroes. They helped catch a man who police say attacked an officer. Our news partners at the Trib shared this video. This is Keeper, a 4-month-old German Shepherd. Police were investigating a burglary yesterday in Scottdale. The officer had one handcuff on the suspect when police say the guy pushed the officer to the ground and ran away. They say he then tried to steal a motorcycle from a back porch, but he picked the wrong house because the homeowner, Edward Swingle, and his dog heard all the commotion.
So I sent my dog after him, and my dog grabbed him by his pant legs and drug him off the side of the porch and was holding him down.
Swingle says he held him down at gunpoint until police got there. That suspect, Corey Pandulo, he faces a list of charges, including aggravated assault.
The Beaver County Humane Society just posted a call for some help on Facebook. Maybe you can jump in on this. Its cat food cupboards are bare. The shelter says their cats like Friskies and Fancy Feasts. They're not too particular about the flavor. And just to note, they don't cost too much either. They're fairly inexpensive. So the Beaver County Humane Society, they are also looking for some liquid laundry detergent. And if you want to donate, you can drop them off in a bin outside the shelter on Broadhead Road in Aliquippa between 10 in the morning and 5 in the evening every day. And they also have an Amazon wish list. Okay, now to that pet warning for parents, or excuse me, warning for pet parents, I should say. Okay, so the next 4 to 6 weeks, just want you to know it is mating season for coyotes. So that means that male coyotes will likely be more aggressive during this period. So just make sure you keep a close eye on your dogs and your cats when they're outside.
And Pittsburgh police are reminding everyone it's against the law to leave pets outside longer than 30 minutes when the temperatures are below freezing. Officers recently had to rescue a dog that was left on a balcony on the north side. Police say the owner was babysitting later than expected, and they were grateful that police helped them out.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Yeah, don't leave your pets outside if you don't like 25-degree weather. Your pets don't either, especially with that wind chill of 14. It feels really cold right now, and we also look to be cold as we go throughout the rest of the day. So the wind is playing a little bit of a factor looking outside. Not really seeing that snow falling. That's some good news. So we're trending in the right direction as we head into the weekend. Looking outside, though, we see that cloud cover, but again, at least nothing falling from the clouds. So a few flurries this morning, but really done with that for the most part going into the weekend. Yeah, you see it right there. We're looking dry this weekend. Enjoy it. Get outside. I would suggest that you make some plans to get outside this weekend because that break will be short-lived. We have more snow and rain going into the start of next week. That could be bring dicey conditions, especially on the roadways where you're going back to school and to work. And I'll show you that right now on Storm Tracker. Sunday actually is going to be a pretty nice day. We're actually going to get above freezing, maybe just a degree above, but at least above freezing. And just to give you a heads up, temperatures will be trending warmer going into next week. More on temperatures coming up in the next half hour, and I do have some good news. But Sunday's a good day. We start out with a good bit of sunshine. That cloud cover builds ahead of all of that snow that will be coming our way first thing in the morning on Monday. So here's Monday morning. Notice the darker gray, that's some lighter snowfall. Heavier pockets where you see the brighter white there, and that will last for a few hours throughout the morning before that warmer air comes in and we start to see that mix around midday. And then for the afternoon, temperatures will be right around 40 degrees. Yes, I said 40, kind of gave you a heads up there. And we're seeing rain through much of the afternoon around 5:30. That's the evening commute, and could be slippery, wetting the roadways around this time. And we do get a break actually between Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday morning, not looking too active first thing in the morning, but we still do have a snow chance and also some more rain. So kind of round two of much of the same going into Tuesday, even Tuesday afternoon. Looking kind of similar to Monday with that rain chance. This is 5:30, so again for that evening commute, could also see some heavier spots, could also see some spotty freezing rain, some icy conditions, but for the most part we are looking at snow to start the day, rain during the afternoon, and could affect your evening commute. Now, I did kind of hint at some warmer temperatures coming, but for this weekend, we are getting some much colder air filtering in behind the system. That colder air will filter in tonight into tomorrow, making for a very cold start to the day on Sunday. You see it right here in your 5-day forecast. So overnight low 13, a very cold start, 25 for the high for Saturday, 7 degrees for the start of the day on Sunday, 33. So that's that temperature a degree better than freezing. And then we trend warmer for Monday and Tuesday, even though it's active. We do get to 40 degrees on Tuesday. I do have a look again coming up in the next half hour about the temperature trend going into the beginning of March. So make sure you stick around for that.
If you need something to look forward to after all of this dreary weather that we have been having here, how about the Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium? They are going to reopen next month. The zoo closed in December when new COVID restrictions were put in place, but they'll be ready to welcome you and your family again on March 1st.
There's a new social media app. What makes this one a lot different for Facebook and Twitter, and why people are willing to pay money to use it?
Pain, discomfort, and swelling, the unusual side effect of the COVID vaccine that doctors say women might experience, and what it has to do with the timing of your mammogram.
I was very scared when it hurt like that.
Painful and swollen, that is what this woman says her armpit felt like a day after getting her second COVID shot. Now, some people say their lymph nodes are getting swollen after the shot. It's happening to about 10% of people, especially those who get the Moderna vaccine. That was Sarah Lenardi. She's an X-ray tech. She got her first and second dose of the Moderna vaccine, but within days, she said she had that severe pain under her armpit and her lymph nodes were enlarged. So she went to the emergency room. She was screened for a possible clot, and that's when she learned that it was a side effect of the COVID vaccine.
It's actually a good sign that you have a good immune system and it's responding to the shot.
So here's something to consider about your mammogram. Doctors recommend that women consider scheduling their mammogram either before their first dose or 4 to 6 weeks after their second dose, so there is no confusion with the imaging.
A team of biologists and engineers at the University of Pennsylvania had developed a COVID test that gives on-the-spot results. They call it Detect. It takes about 5 minutes to test a sample of saliva. During trials, it was 94% accurate, and this could help large events like weddings and concerts go on. In Philadelphia, hospitality leaders have been talking about using testing to create COVID-free zones. Since the start of the pandemic, they've seen a 90% drop in revenue. Penn engineers hope to submit Detect to the FDA for approval next month.
It is a rare and really scary illness in kids, and it's connected to COVID-19.
It's definitely something that was a complete shock to us and not something we were even looking for.
Why the next few weeks could be critical in controlling the illness.
We're cold right now. We look to be cold this weekend, but temperatures look to warm up going into next week. I have the details coming up in the next half hour.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us this afternoon. We're having a little break from the snow this weekend. Unfortunately, though, not for the cold.
Not yet, anyway. Meteorologist Jessica Faith is tracking some of the coldest temperatures we have seen all season in Severe Weather Center 11. Jess?
Yeah, so this week we really haven't even touched our average high for this time of year, and that will be much better than what we have this midday. We are in the mid to upper 20s, below freezing, 25 right now in Pittsburgh, 26 in Beaver. A good midday to you, Indiana. You're at 27. Now we have a bit of a wind. Factor in the wind chill in the teens for many. And one of the coldest spots is actually in Pittsburgh with a wind chill of 14. It feels like 19 in Indiana, and in Beaver it feels like 16 in Washington. We do have some cold air on the way for this weekend, some very cold temperatures, but I have a look at the extended forecast, the temperature trend going into the first couple of days of March, and it shows some pretty good stuff, so stick around for that.
We are following some breaking news here at 12:30 this afternoon. We're just getting an idea of the scope of how much this winter weather we have had this week has actually delayed the COVID vaccine shipments nationwide. So just got an alert from the White House saying that it has temporarily delayed the shipment of 6 million doses. Now, Pennsylvania is already dealing with a 200,000 dose shortage of the Moderna vaccine. We're going to be working to find out more about the impacts of all of these nationwide delays.
President Joe Biden is set to tour a COVID-19 vaccine plant later today as he continues to make a case for his relief plan and a new round of stimulus checks. Our Jacqueline Fell has the latest on where that bill stands.
The president will tour and visit with workers at a Pfizer manufacturing plant where some of the first doses of its COVID-19 vaccine were produced back in December. The White House says the U.S. is on track to have a large enough vaccine supply, 600 million doses, by the end of July. The president will also push his nearly $2 trillion relief deal. It includes another direct payment for most Americans, money to reopen schools, and increase COVID-19 vaccinations and testing. Here on Capitol Hill, Republicans have balked at the price tag, but Democrats are pushing forward without GOP support.
We're still working every day to see if we can earn Republican support for the plan. But what we won't do is slow down and not meet the needs of the American people by just waiting.
Democrats should put the political games aside and resume the same kinds of bipartisan talks they demanded constantly all of last year.
The clock is ticking. Democrats say they have every intention of getting more stimulus passed before crucial pandemic relief benefits expire next month. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
Pennsylvania GOP members are calling for an investigation into Governor Tom Wolf's nursing home policy during the pandemic. That policy sent COVID-19 positive residents back into nursing and personal care homes. Republican committee members say they're trying to make the information public so they can get a look at what happened. More than 12,000 deaths have been reported at long-term care facilities in the state.
A little girl with a rare and very serious illness linked to COVID-19. We're glad to report she is out of the hospital. Here's a little picture of Sophie Ray back at home. And we told you she has MIS-C. It's a condition stemming from COVID. It was first diagnosed as a viral infection. In the beginning, Sophie Ray was not getting any better. And that's one of the scariest parts about this illness. It is very tricky to diagnose. Sarah Dolph has a story now of another family who experienced the same frightening scenario.
We all had some symptoms.
When Burke White's entire family contracted COVID, his 5-year-old daughter seemed to have the mildest case. But a month later, she developed a fever and stomach pain.
They tested her for everything, flu, strep, COVID again, did all those tests. They all came back negative.
But their quick-thinking pediatrician sent them to the ER, correctly suspecting it was MIS-C, a rare inflammatory syndrome tied to COVID cases in children.
It's definitely something that was a complete shock to us and not something we were even looking for.
MIS-C usually develops 4 to 6 weeks after COVID exposure, and health experts, including ones at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, are seeing a rise in cases following the post-holiday COVID surge.
The last half of January and the first week of February, we were evaluating children and teenagers with suspected MIS-C very frequently on an almost daily basis.
The next weeks, they say, could be critical and urge parents needs to watch for symptoms like a rash, gastrointestinal distress, and high fever.
MIS-C is certainly showing us that we really can't let our guards down yet.
If caught and treated early, MIS-C patients generally recover, like Burke White's daughter, who spent a week in the hospital and is continuing treatment for heart inflammation.
We're in a much better place than we were, but just the unknown about all of it is very daunting.
The long-term effects for her and other MIS-C survivors still unknown. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Now, UPMC Children's Hospital is seeing kids with MIS-C. They say they have had 22 patients total, and apparently that has doubled the number of patients there since January.
The Lord spoke to me and said, you got to save the boys.
Paying it forward, how this man is helping to send local kids to college.
Buy a used car, but you're unaware about a critical safety recall. It's happened more often than you think. The change one group wants to see made.
We believe that if you raise the level of expectation of these young men, that they will rise up to that expectation.
A local pastor is paying it forward. He's using his first-class education as a model for what he hopes will become a new opportunity for young boys in Pittsburgh. It's an effort to keep them on the right path, away from violence and heading toward a college degree. Daryl Kennedy is a graduate of Morehouse College and pastor at Rodman Missionary Baptist Church. He wants to use the former East Catholic School as a new charter school called the Life STEAM Academy. The school would be part of the Woodland Hills School District, and while it would focus on helping African-American boys, all would be welcome.
Boys are welcome to come from all over the city, all over the area. It's not just one school district, so it doesn't matter what turf they lived in the past. We're going to bring these young men together in a brotherhood.
The school's website is already up and running. Kennedy is planning to start registration this month, and he hopes to open the school in August.
Very interesting. A new investigation found that used cars with possibly dangerous recalls are still being sold. The report looked at 600 used cars for sale. It found that nearly 40% of them had at least one unfixed safety recall. Now, it's not against the law to sell used cars with an outstanding recall. There is a bill in the U.S. Senate that would make it illegal to sell a used car with an unfixed recall.
Pretty cold right now, 25 degrees, but we do have some warmer weather on the way. When could we see those warmer temperatures? I have details coming up next.
There is a new app, a social media app. What makes this one a lot different from Facebook and Twitter, and why people are willing to pay money to use it? There's a new social media app that's getting a lot of buzz, but not just anyone can join. Here's NBC's Liz McLaughlin.
Social media usually involves photos, text, and videos. But a hot new social app called Clubhouse is centered around good old-fashioned audio.
You can either sit and listen to people like you would perhaps at a conference, or you can participate.
The platform's attracting celebrities including Drake, Oprah Winfrey, and Elon Musk, and driving unfettered conversations on all sorts of topics.
I think some of the appeal here is going to be finding rooms that are about a breadth of topics that might be relevant to them.
You have to be logged into the audio chat room, which caps capacity at 5,000, to be part of the conversation. There's no replay or recording feature. And at least for now, if you want to join Clubhouse, you have to be in the club.
Clubhouse is still in beta, and so it's not available to everyone. And so if you want to be on Clubhouse, you need an invite.
It's also only available on Apple devices so far, but those limitations haven't stunted its growth. The 11-month-old app had just 1,500 users in May, exploding beyond 2 million last month. The high demand is driving some early Clubhouse adopters to sell their invites on sites like eBay and Etsy for up to $150.
You know, this app will eventually open up to everybody, and you could sign up for free without a code.
Buzz that spurred tech titans Twitter and Facebook to develop their own audio platforms. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Twitter is testing a product. It's similar. It's called Spaces. It has an audio chat feature like Clubhouse, and Facebook is also rumored to be working on a competitor.
Your your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Hey, I have an app for you that's free. The WPXI weather app, rather. Can't even get it out. But go to our weather app. You will get all kind of information you need, including the current temperature right now. But today's high is 30 degrees, and you can probably just look outside and tell that it is cloudy right now. And we will continue to have very cold temperatures as we go throughout the rest of the day, including the wind chill. So also on the app, you can see how strong the wind is. And again, we will feel like we're in the teens for much of the day, even into the evening hours. So if you do have maybe some dinner plans or whatever you would like to do later today, know that it's going to be kind of breezy. It's going to be very cold, and it's going to feel like we're in the single digits around midnight tonight. And we're talking about some more cold air coming our way just in time for this weekend. It's going to come in quite strong, making it feel cold even at the start of the day tomorrow, feeling like 13 degrees as you walk out the door tomorrow. That cloud cover sticking around. And then as we head toward midday, feeling like we're in the upper teens, lower 20s, and also feeling like we're in the lower 20s with a good bit of wind as well, coming from the west northwest at 10 miles per hour. So 21 degrees around 5 o'clock. Our highs will be somewhere in the mid-20s. Can have a few breaks in that cloud cover, but overall expect a cloudy day, but a dry day. We are looking dry for the entire weekend. Now let's talk about that cold air once more. It is going to be a very cold start to the day, kind of a bit of a bite Sunday morning, with a lot of folks in the single digits to start the day. So we start off 7 degrees in Pittsburgh Sunday morning, walking out the door in Butler. 6 degrees is going to be 6 degrees in Washington, 9 degrees in Beaver. The good news is we do have some better days ahead. Now, this is the temperature outlook going into the next 8 to 14 days. So this spills into the first couple of days of March. And overall, for much of the eastern portion of the United States, including in our area in Pittsburgh, we are looking slightly above average as far as our temperatures. So normal highs for this time of year should be somewhere in the lower 40s. We could, by the end of this month, going into the beginning of next, be a little bit warmer than that, and we'll see some of that warmer air farther toward the south and east. And so we are trending in the right direction. You'll even see that right now on our 5-day forecast. So next couple of days, looking cold. Let's go ahead and look ahead to next week. Upper 30s. Now, it does come with snow to start the day on Monday, and then rain somewhere around the afternoon, maybe even your evening commute, and then we do get a break in that rainfall going into Tuesday, where we could see some more rain and snow showers. The thing I want to point out, though, the temperatures, we go from near freezing on Sunday, upper 30s on Monday, finally closer to average, lower 40s on Tuesday.
Earth had its quietest period in decades during 2020 because of the pandemic, apparently because of significantly reduced human activity. An international group of seismologists from 33 countries measured a drop of about 50% in ambient noise, and they credit that drop to lockdowns, fewer buses and trains running, grounded flights, and factories closing. This made it much quieter than Christmas, which is typically the quietest time of the year. Now here's local steals and deals. Lisa Robertson.
Hey, Lisa Robertson here with Local Steals and Deals. How would you like to have one of the most influential chemists in the beauty industry give you something no one else has? That's BeautyStat, and Ron Robinson is the founder and the owner, and he's here with us. How you doing, Ron?
Hey, Lisa. So excited to be with you here today.
It is so good to have you here, and I know that you have been a mover and shaker in beauty for a long time, right?
That's right. I have been in the industry over 20 years. I've formulated and developed products for big brands like Clinique, Estee Lauder, Revlon, Avon, L'Oreal. But during that time, I've always been fascinated with the ingredient vitamin C. And so I created the company BeautyStat with a mission to create the best vitamin C serum. Now, vitamin C is a great ingredient for the skin, there's no doubt, but it's notoriously unstable. We solved that problem. We have 3 patents on the ability to stabilize pure vitamin C. So in our BeautyStat Universal C Skin Refiner, it stays pure and potent from the first drop to the last.
Wow. And if I'm sitting at home, very quickly, why is it important? What does it do for my skin when it's stable and when it's fresh?
Well, in our product, it's clinically tested and dermatologist approved to reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles, firm and tighten skin, even out skin tone, and diminish the look of pores. It really does it all.
And very quickly, so who are some of the beauty magazines already talking about this?
Yeah, Lisa, just last week, we were so excited that Oprah Magazine named our product one of the best vitamin C serums. And Allure, Cosmo, Harper's Bazaar, Good Housekeeping, all of them have named it as one of the best. And so we're super excited to be able to bring it to consumers.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Lisa.
You can get these 3 amazing ideas at localsteals.com. The exciting thing is Ron is offering this at 50% off. Just go to localsteals.com and you get great beauty.
The NHL is creating something special for this weekend. 2 outdoor games in Lake Tahoe. Take a look how the rink came together here on the shore of Lake Tahoe. It's nestled between the snow-topped mountain peaks. The Colorado Avalanche will take on the Vegas Golden Knights Saturday, followed by the Boston Bruins and the Philadelphia Flyers on Sunday. And you can watch both of them right here on Channel 11.
But there's some beautiful scenery with that, right? So there might not be a St. Patrick's Day parade on St. Patrick's Day in Pittsburgh this year, but 2 brands, I should say, are teaming up to encourage you to make your own parade. Carhartt and Guinness are calling on hardworking men and women to reimagine their celebrations from home. They encourage you to recreate holiday traditions and share them using the hashtag #MakeYourOwnParade. They hope it'll help people connect while still social distancing. All right, what's for dinner tonight? I bet it's fish. Yes, Fish Fry Fridays are back since it is the first Friday in Lent. A lot of churches, though, and fire departments are doing a bit differently this year because of the pandemic. But don't worry, we still have that great list of local options that we make for you like every single year. It is up on WPXI.com right now. Gordon, fish for dinner?
Yeah, get those orders in, right? That's it for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Have a great afternoon.